Hello everyone, welcome for gerontology or adult nursing, and I could wish us to look at the learning outcomes first. Let me set up a slideshow here. So the learning outcomes is that you should be able to care for the elderly. You acquire knowledge in the care of the elderly. So you have to understand the definition of gerontology, the theories that try to explain aging, the principles and the degenerative changes that occur to the various body systems and organs. So we are here now. What are the myths to aging? The myths, what do people think about aging? What are about the misconceptions? What are the misconceptions of aging? Some people tend to think that older people are like, they're just old, so they are like. Some people think older people cannot learn. In fact, the government being aware of this as a department for adult education, because they have needs to learn, even study, they even get certificates like that. So older people, some people think older people are senile, that the older people are in nursing homes. Some people think older people are sick and helpless. So now that these are myths, it means that the information, whatever attitude we have towards older people is not true. It's not the real state of affairs. So the facts are that older people are widely different from each other, and we cannot generalize their experiences. That aging is an individual event, and it is influenced by societal attitude and support. How we support them, what we do to make them better, to make them functional in the society, is what determines whether they will age fast or not. So some of the definitions that we look at, one is gerontology. The definition there is that the study of the aged, or is the study of the physical, mental, and social processes of growing old. So if you write is the study of the aged, those are a few words. You can also say it is the study of the physical, mental, and social process of growing old, and you score it correct. Another definition that I can give to gerontology is that it is what? It is a branch of science that deals with aging and the problems of the aged people. So you write that, still that is correct. Now geriatrics is another term, and geriatrics means a branch in gerontology which involves the medical care of the aged. So wherever we are talking about health care of the aged, how to take care of their health needs, how to ensure that they are for their well-being in terms of them being free from diseases. We are in a branch that is a branch of gerontology we call geriatrics. Now, aging, definition of aging. The definition of aging is the normal process of time-related change in human. The normal process of time-related change in human. We know that over time, people grow old. The physiological changes that occur to cells, to body organs and systems lead to their deterioration, to the extent that you can't compare the functioning of a child to a person who is 60 years. So from the time one is born, these changes start to occur, to the extent that late in life, these people will have deteriorated in terms of the physiological functioning, so that the organs do not function the same way they used to some years back. That's what we mean. People age differently, and within an individual, systems and organs also age at different rates. So there are factors which promote aging and factors which delay aging. The factors that promote aging include stress. If you are always stressed, if you do not have good stress coping skills, then of course you will age faster. The cardiovascular diseases, of course, are also responsible for aging. Diabetes, sensory loss, obesity, those are factors that lead to aging. People who have a sedentary lifestyle, who do not exercise, of course, will also age because they are also likely to have lifestyle diseases. Positive factors we have said, like exercise. When you exercise, you are likely to delay aging. You that will promote physical fitness, and of course, you are able to defeat some diseases. Good nutrition, of course, that a balanced diet is everything. When you are taking vitamins, you will have a good immune system, and of course, your body defenses will be strong. Now let's look at the classification of aging. We have chronological aging, which is based on the number of years lived, which is simply the number of years lived. We have terms like social gerontology, which is concerned mainly with the social aspects of aging versus the biological or physiological aspects. We have gerontophobia, which is the unreasonable fear and the irrational hatred of older people. There are guys who hate older people. You hate or you fear them. That is called gerontophobia. Ageism is a word that was coined by Robert Butler. It is the prejudgment that is based on age, a process of systematic stereotyping and discrimination against old people because they are old. You stereotype. There's a stereotype to the older people. Just you make judgment based on age, prejudgment based on age. If someone looks old and you know they are lazy, all when they come to hospital, you don't really trust that they are sick. You only say this is due to old age. You know, that is ageism. The concept of ageism looks at the prejudgment that we make based on age. The discrimination based on age is ageism. Factors influencing aging. We know that heredity, genetics has a wider role to play. Yeah, occupation. So if I do mjengo, the difficult tasks, and someone else is employed in an office, earns a good salary, of course, who will age faster. Social status, level of activity. When you don't exercise, you can age faster than the person who exercises. Health maintenance, stress coping, and health status. When you have underlying conditions, that will also contribute to aging. Now, theories of aging. These are theories that try to explain the reasons why people age. So, by virtue of definition, a theory is a statement that explains a phenomena, or it's just an answer to a problem. So let's look at these theories that help us to interpret aging. I will mention them before I continue. We have disengagement theory, we have activity theory, we have continuity theory, we have psychological model theory, we have role theory, immune theory, neuroendocrine theory, run-up program theory, and wear and tear theory. So backwards, run-up program theory, neuroendocrine theory, immune theory, role theory, psychological model theory, continuous theory, activity theory, and disengagement theory. So disengagement theory is our first one, and be very careful with this because I've seen questions testing on this. So this was established by Allen in the year 1961, and the theory explains that elderly people will tend to withdraw from social roles, the roles that they so much valued in during their prime years. But as they get older, they will withdraw from such roles, the roles that were central to their lives. Yeah. they become inactive and withdrawn over time, and now the power that they had, the responsibilities that they had, will be transferred to younger persons. That's how the disengagement theory explains. It's so the whole concept is they withdraw from social roles, and some of these roles will be bestowed upon younger persons. So we have activity theory, which says that persons who are active will be more satisfied and better adjusted than those who have disengaged. So optimal aging is achieved when individuals engage in activities. When you engage in activities, though you will get old, but you'll get old not because you are not exercising, but because it's time for you to get old. So we have another theory called continuity theory, which it was developed by Ackley in 1989, which states that older adults will usually hold to the same activities, behaviors, personalities as they were in middle age. So there are people you find who are old but want to behave like youths. Yeah, they behave like the young. You understand? It's because they carried on their behaviors to old age. They carried all along their personalities to old age. So the theory that better explains such is called continuity theory. Then we have psychological model theory, which is based on the theory of human development that was first proposed by Erik Erikson, the theory of psychosocial development, and this states that life, the stages of life as they are, that later in adulthood, the elderly will have their unique set of problems, and if they cannot actually evaluate their successes, they are likely to despair. But for those who really got along very well in life, they will be in a stage we call integrity. So that stage of integrity versus despair is likely to feature quite which explains that people hold a variety of roles throughout life, and that's what determines their self-concept and self-image. But aging will alter their roles, norms, standards, and expectations. For example, when you get to the age of 65 years, you will have difficulty to adjust to retirement, forced retirement, or retrenchment or so. So when maybe you experience the death of a spouse, you lose your spouse, it will be difficult to adjust at that age. I mean, when you have always seen this, when people lose employment at old age, how difficult that becomes. It's not losing employment per se, but even when they retire, it becomes very difficult for them to adjust to life because of this issue of having roles that determine their self-image and their self-concept. So when aging alters them, it becomes difficult for them to adjust. Now there is immune theory, which explains that the body defenses weaken over time as people age and they become more susceptible to diseases. So aging predisposes individuals to diseases. That is why people age. Over time, the immunity weakens and aging sets in. Neuroendocrine theory explains that aging results to decline in both neuron and endocrine output, that there are glands and organs affected by aging. So they don't function as they should. So like when women have reduced production of estrogen, they are predisposed to osteoporosis. That is our common problem to postmenopausal women. And sometimes other people get deficiency of insulin, which leads to diabetes. So neuroendocrine theory tries to explain all that. Then we have run-up program theory, which explains the genetic materials in the cells keep on decreasing, deteriorating as people grow old, and because it is irreplaceable, we expect these guys to have a weakened, because it is genetics that dictates how our tissues work, how the brain works, and everything. So when they grow old, the genetic material has deteriorated, and therefore their body functions are compromised, even their lineage. You know, if you say a child at an advanced age, you expect to have physiological problems manifested in the child, because the gene material has deteriorated. So we have wear and tear theory, which also explains that our bodies are like machines, and now that as one grows old, the tissues are damaged, leading to loss of function. So we have seen that there is classification of aging according to Sang et al. 2018, which says the young old range between 65 to 74 years, the middle old range between 74 to 84 years, and the old above or equal to 85 years. Classification according to WHO, is that the young old range in the years 65 to 75, the advanced old range in the years 75 to 85 years, and the very advanced old above 85 years. Then there are changes which occur in systems, in body systems, as people get old. The integumentary, that is the skin, these are the changes that occur to the skin. The oil glands, sweat glands become less active. The skin loses its elasticity. Wrinkles form. There is reduced blood flow to the skin. Then, of course, the circulatory system, the stiffening of the arterial system occurs, increased afterload. And I think this is what's responsible for congestive heart failure. That after the blood is ejected out of the left ventricle, some volume of blood remains and is responsible for increased systolic blood pressure. Now, we, as a nurse, you can advise such people to avoid strenuous exercises, advise the older people, elderly, to avoid strenuous exercises, to observe rest, to exercise as per individual tolerance. We know that you should not over exercise. You should not exercise more than your body can really tolerate. When we were in high school, we read about the contortionist, a girl who was under pressure by her father to be a contortionist, but she ended up dying. So exercise should also be done in moderation, to the extent that the body can tolerate. So prevent formation of thrombosis. They should not use embolic stocking. They should not be confined in bed. They should walk around, have some range of motion exercises or activities. That is better for their health. Then the respiratory system, we know the alveoli becomes thinner, respiratory muscles become weaker, the rib cage becomes rigid. They may have difficulty coughing out all excretions. The changes in the larynx leading to high-pitched and weak voice. Those are some changes that occur. Digestive system, they lose teeth. Digestive juice and enzymes become less. The muscle tone becomes weaker or smaller. Do we say small? Or there is loss of muscle tone, so the muscle actions become slower. Peristalsis also decreases. That's for the smooth muscles. Liver functions decrease, and can be shown by the liver function tests, the enzymes, about that. Then in the management, teach them about good oral hygiene. You can repair lost teeth. When I went to special clinic, I saw a lady who brought her mother for the dental procedures there, and she had the lost teeth repaired. Hakuwa na meno yote. So relaxed eating atmosphere, high fiber diet can also be rich in proteins. You can encourage them to take fluids. Then you have a variety of foods, because their appetite, they don't usually have a good appetite. So try to vary, provide a variety. In the genitourinary system, which is a serious problem, usually The kidneys decrease in size and become less efficient. The bladder decrease in size and also less urine. Blood flow to the kidneys reduces. Now, musculoskeletal system, there's loss of bone mass due to loss of calcium. You know that. Risks of fractures increases. So ensure even the terrain, the landscape of the place where they are is not hazardous. They are not prone to falls because their bones can easily fracture. And management, make them exercise, let them eat a balanced diet. If they are smoking, encourage them to quit smoking. Then let them drink adequate water. And then the reproductive system, estrogen and progesterone levels go down. There is thinning of the vaginal wall, decrease of vaginal secretions. The breast sag, matiti ya mama yangu ama ya mama yako ukiangalia amesag. The uterus also may sag. Then nervous system, blood flow to the brain decreases. There is progressive loss of brain cells. That's why they are prone to forgetting. Yeah, dementia, amnesia is a problem. Sensory perception diminishes. There's taste, vision, and hearing. Yeah, all those senses are lost or they diminish. Nerve endings become less sensitive, reducing ability to respond to pain. Yeah, Alzheimer's, dementia, myopia, presbyopia are common. They will always have problems with sight. Now that is it. Now the principles of gerontological nursing, I think you can read during your own time. Let me look for the needs of the elderly persons. We have healthcare. Elderly persons, of course, are at risk of developing serious complications, serious health problems like arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, osteoporosis. So they need constant health care. Yeah. In some other countries, of course, they are provided nursing services continuously. Nutritional needs, ensure they get a balanced diet, plenty in vitamins, yeah, to boost the immunity, of course. When they have a poor appetite, provide them with a variety of foods. Financial security. They are in need of financial security. That is why government these days provides them with social protection funds. In Kenya here, the elderly are given some amount at the end of the month for their upkeep. They can buy drugs, meat, and food. So mobility, most elderly persons have activity limitation. So you should assist with activities of daily living. They need people around them to assist with activities of daily living. So they have needs of mobility to move around. Social security, they normally stay alone. They need people around them because their sons, their daughters could be in school, could be working. So they feel lonely. So they need social security. They need people around them. Personal security, some are abused at the family and community level. So they need protection. Yeah, and then proper housing. Of course, they need proper housing. We have seen many of the elderly who educated their children but are living in dilapidated conditions in very poor houses. So there is this need of proper housing with adequate space, lighting, ventilation, and that which is affordable. Then education, training, and media enforcement. Some of them have needs of education. I think in our country, you can still study irrespective of your age. Now let's look at the roles of a nurse in care of the elderly. Observe and interpret signs and symptoms of normal aging. Promote physical safety. You can remove hazardous material from the environment. You also provide opportunities for socialization. Just provide intimacy. They also want to feel loved. Now, you also assist them in obtaining and the use of helpful mechanical devices. If they are not hearing, get them hearing aids. If they cannot hear properly, then you can provide or look for hearing aids, or you give them walkers, the things to help them with mobility. Resolve personal attitudes about aging. If there are people who are stigmatizing them, If you have people, who view them with a negative perception, try to demystify aging. Try to actually ensure that you explain to those who are negative to aging that aging is a normal process, and so that you are able to resolve personal attitudes about aging. Now, you can also link families to community resources to help them to care better for elderly persons. There are community-based organizations where you can link them up. You can also educate patients when they are sick, educate them on personal safety and ways to prevent diseases. I think, guys, up to that end, I think we have covered well. Thank you.